Why trying harder isn't working. This is 10 things people try that don't actually get them unstuck. Part 1 of 10. Over the years, I've noticed something interesting. Most people who feel stuck aren't lazy. They're not unmotivated. They're not lacking desire. In fact, many of them are trying incredibly hard, and that's exactly the problem. Because one of the most common things people do when they feel stuck is this: they try harder, work harder, push harder, force harder. And while effort matters, effort alone is often what keeps them trapped. Here's the lie we've been sold. When something isn't working, our natural instinct is simple: apply more effort. If you're struggling financially, work harder. If you're struggling spiritually, pray harder. If you're struggling emotionally, try harder to stay positive. If you're struggling in your relationships, try harder to make them work. But what if effort isn't the issue? What if you're applying tremendous effort to the wrong problem? Time for some truth. Let's be honest. If trying harder was the answer, wouldn't you already be unstuck? You've been trying for months, maybe years. You've read the books, listened to the podcasts, watched the sermons, made the promises, created the plans, and yet here you are, still circling the same mountain. At some point, we have to consider a difficult possibility. The problem may not be your effort. The problem may be your approach. And here's why more effort often creates more frustration. Imagine trying to drive to Dallas while heading toward Houston. You can drive faster, longer, harder, with more determination, but every mile of effort takes you further from where you're trying to go. The issue isn't effort, the issue is direction. And many people spend years accelerating in the wrong direction while wondering why they never arrive. So let's talk Unstuck framework. When people work with me, one of the first things we look for isn't motivation, it's misalignment. Because being stuck is usually not a motivation problem, it's an alignment problem. These 3 questions matter. 1, what are you doing? Your actions. 2, why are you doing it? Your beliefs. 3, who are you being while doing it? Your identity. Most people only focus on actions. The breakthrough usually happens when we uncover the beliefs and identity driving those actions. And here's what most people miss. You cannot outperform a broken identity. You cannot outwork a limiting belief. You cannot out-hustle unresolved fear. Eventually, what's happening internally will overpower what's happening externally, which is why 2 people can have the same information and produce completely different results. One changes, one doesn't. The difference isn't effort, it's awareness. So what's the bigger truth? Sometimes trying harder is just another way of avoiding the real issue. Because if the real issue is your identity or your fear or your unwillingness to confront something difficult, then simply working harder allows you to avoid looking deeper. And deeper is exactly where freedom is found. Okay, so let's reflect. Ask yourself honestly, where have I been trying harder instead of looking deeper? What problem have I been attempting to solve through effort alone? What if the issue isn't my commitment, but my approach? And don't answer quickly. Sit with it. Because your breakthrough may not require more effort, it may require a different perspective. Coming next time, part 2, why more information isn't helping you. We'll explore why so many people consume books, podcasts, sermons, courses, and content, yet still remain stuck. And why information rarely creates transformation. If you're tired of trying harder, this is exactly why I offer a free 30-minute Unstuck clarity call, because sometimes what feels like a motivation problem is actually an identity problem. And sometimes what feels like a discipline problem is actually a clarity problem. And sometimes one conversation can uncover what years of effort have failed to reveal. During the call, we'll identify what's truly keeping you stuck, uncover the hidden patterns beneath your frustration, clarify your next step forward. Now, this is a private advisory experience for people who know they're capable of more but need clarity, conviction, and strategic direction to move into their next assignment. Now, here's the final word. Most people don't need to try harder. They need to see clearer. Because when clarity arrives, the right actions become obvious and momentum finally becomes possible.